Hey there, it's Jim and Debbie with another episode of the Midday Minute. Debbie, this is episode number 41.
Holy moly.
I gotta be honest, I like our new old biweekly schedule.
Yeah.
I feel rested, I feel
Do this
ready.
every day if you wanted to, I could do it every day, but
Sure, but I just feel like, I'm ready. I'm up for it. I felt like low energy in some of our, past episodes, but not anymore. I'm ready to go. I'm spoiling. So in today's episode, we're going to check in with Makenna Cannon from the Hoop Shoot, talk about a couple of initiatives that are coming down the pike in this
right.
strange Hoop Shoot season.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get to that, we have a contest winner to announce.
We do. We have a contest winner from episode 40, and it is one Mr. Ed Furby.
Ed Furby is now our fourth two-time winner in the comment contest. Congratulations, Ed. We're going to need you to tell us in the comments below or by emailing enf@elks.org how you would like us to apply that $50 soft credit in your name. Which ENF funded program would you like to support with those $50, Ed? And congratulations to you and Lodge number 72. Now, today's viewers will have an opportunity to win a soft credit of their own, a $50 soft credit of their own, just simply by commenting on the episode below with the hashtag. What's the hashtag? ENF Midday.
The hashtag I thought maybe it was going to be Go Sox.
Well, you know what? We'd like you to today comment whatever. You can comment whatever you like, but I'm going to prompt you to comment. Which team are you rooting for in the baseball playoffs, which begin today? And that kicks off a new segment of the show. Actually, I guess we introduced it last time, but it might be a short-lived segment. We'll see, but it's called Baseball Fever with Jim. And, today we're recording on Tuesday, as always. The episode will air on Wednesday, but the playoffs kick off today. My team, the White Sox, play in Oakland at 2 p.m.
Wow.
Now, I don't have a television in my office at 2750 North Lakeview Avenue. But here at home, the working from home, one benefit is we have a couple of TVs in various office locations around the house. So I can do some work while also having the game on in the background. I'm happy about that.
Very nice.
I got to be honest, though, what a difference 2 weeks makes. I mean, I was at the top of the world when we talked 2 weeks ago. The White Sox were in this big, important series with the Twins, and we ended up taking 3 out of 4 in that series. And at the end of it, the White Sox had the best record in the American League. They were first American League team to clinch a playoff spot, and they were on top of the world. Since then, their final 10 games, they went 2-8. They tumbled all the way to the 7th position. And I'm no longer so optimistic. Of course, I'm supporting my team, but they sort of remind me of the 2000 White Sox, who arrived on the playoff scene a little ahead of schedule. They were swept that year, but 5 years later, they won the World Series. So, who knows?
I feel like this could be a spin-off show.
It could be. But, before we leave Baseball Fever, I want to talk about something that may be a little bit more germane to today's topic, which is hoop shoot and youth sports. But, Debbie, guess what I found the other day?
I can't imagine. What did you find?
I found the team photo from the Fighting Tigers of the 1980 Lions Township Little League right there. There's good old number 8 starting first baseman. But let's look at the team photo right there. Do you recognize anybody else in that photo, Debbie?
I sure do. I recognize my husband, good old number 12, Michael Doles.
Number 12, Mike Doles, was third baseman / left fielder, depending on who was pitching. I just want to tell a couple of stories about this picture. The guy right to the left of your husband, Mike, his name was Mark, and we were never really friends on the team, but we went to the same high school. We were the same age, and throughout our 4 years of high school, whenever we passed each other in the halls or coming in and out of a classroom or in a class together, whatever, without fail, we would always look at each other and nod, like a silent acknowledgement of this campaign we had gone through together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's one of the neat things about youth sports is the bonds that it forms with people, right? And I think that this team in particular, and you'll bear this out because you've heard when we got together, the 4 of us get together, Mike and I will spend a lot of time talking about this team, right? You've heard us. And one of the things that made it so memorable is our coach right there.
That's right. I can't remember his name. But
I'm not going to say his name, but I will say that he was kind of an ick day.
Okay.
I just lapsed into Pig Latin there, just
Yes,
to
you
the
did.
benefit of our viewers. Quick story about him. He people get into youth sports for all sorts of reasons, but I think this speaks to the role that the Elks can play in the hoop shoot too. There was, he used to take us out for ice cream when we won. That there came in the season a pivotal game, and he promised us, win or lose, I'm going to take you guys out for ice cream. And we ended up losing that game, right? And afterwards, somebody made the mistake of saying, hey, you're going to take us out for ice cream? And he looked at us and said, I don't take losers for ice cream.
Ooh.
Fortunately, my mom was there and saw the whole thing unfold, and she took the entire team out for ice cream.
Aww. God bless Pat O'Kelly.
Yeah. So anyway, youth sports, we're going to talk a little bit more about youth sports today. Let's go ahead and bring in Makenna. We're going to wrap up baseball fever until next time, hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be talking about baseball fever in 2 weeks. We'll see. But let's bring in Makenna Cannon right now to talk a little bit about a different sport. Makenna, welcome to the Midday Minute.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome back. So we were just talking a little bit about youth sports, Little League baseball in this instance, and the bonds you can form with your teammates and how they last. I told a story about a kid on my team. Like, we were never really friends on the team. We didn't really talk a whole lot, but throughout high school, whenever I saw him in the halls or whatever, we'd always nod to each other. You know what I mean? Like, we experienced this thing together.
Yeah.
And also, like, the impact, the impression a coach can make, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it was bad. Like, I quit baseball for 2 years after that season before I played.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, what kind of impression are we making on the hoop shooters?
Hopefully a really positive and lasting impression. And
That's
from
right.
all of the stories that I've heard, that's definitely what we're doing. So I think that's something to be proud of.
Well, there's a couple of questions I want to talk about today. I think maybe it's more natural segue is just to reinforce what you just said. Next week, we are introducing a new show on the YouTube channel. It's going to be our third show, right? I want you to tell people what it's called.
Yeah, our new show is Hoop Shooting the Breeze, which is a kind of an interview style catch-up show where we're going to be talking to some past participants, some Hoop Shoot volunteers and other friends of the Hoop Shoot, just about what the Hoop Shoot means to them, what impact it's had on them, and their Hoop Shoot journey. So I'm really looking forward to that launching.
Right. You just said the impact we make on hoop shooters is positive. Now we're going to prove it. Is it going to be a weekly show, bi-weekly? What's the plan?
Yeah, it's a monthly show.
Monthly, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it'll be releasing on the first Tuesday of each month. So,
First Tuesday of each month? Okay.
Yeah, we'll have our True Grit Tuesdays featuring Hoop Shooting the Breeze.
And you just recorded the first episode yesterday, right?
Correct.
Who'd you interview? Mm-hmm. What can we look forward to in that first interview?
Yeah, our first interview is Madigan Moore, who is a 2020 backboard member, as well as
2006.
Yeah, exactly. 2006. She competed as an 8-year-old, and it was her first year in the hoop shoot, and she talks about that experience and also how that has, really changed her, thinking and trajectory off the court as well. Awesome.
One of my favorite stories about Madigan is that when she joined the backboard 2 years ago, I think.
2019. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And there was another woman on the backboard. I'm blanking on the name, but they realized that they were both. Yeah. Thank you, Macy Coffey. Is that what you said? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were both 2006 national finalists, and they tied for 5th place or something like that. So throughout the finals, we were joking that at some point we were going to bring them both out on court to settle it once for all. I still think that'd be a good idea at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So what else is happening in the hoop shoot?
Also launching on October 6th, it's a big day, is our Service Scorecard, which is our new virtual engagement opportunity for hoop shooters, Elks, anyone, volunteers, everyone to join in on, which is going to be really fun. It's a combination of service projects and kind of a scavenger hunt to get people out in their communities as it's safe to do so, and at home completing acts of service.
So help me connect the dots here. So, this is it's a free throw program. Why are we pivoting to service right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it connects obviously to the Elks so well because of the spirit of volunteerism that is in our community already. And also, service is, one of the great connectors, especially in a time when I think we're feeling a little distant from each other, from our communities. Service has been proven to kind of help you engage more, and giving back in your community is, something that we want to inspire in our youth and in, all ages. So, yeah.
So we sit here, 6 months after almost, right, from the cancellations, and we met with you, I think, in early June to talk about what we were thinking and what we were planning, and then we've, of course, notified everybody what the game plan is, and that is to have lodge contests if it's safe to do so, and district contests if it's safe to do so. But that's where this year's hoop shoot season will end. Will be at the districts. So introducing the service scorecard is another way to just keep the hoop shoot front and center on people's minds, right? Like, we want to still be relevant, even though the contest isn't going to go as far, or the stakes aren't as high, ending in the national finals. But like we've talked about, it's as important. These kids are going to be as committed to trying to win, even if that's ending at the districts, because that's what they will set their minds on, right? Are these goals. So for the service scorecard, also, I think one of the cool things and why we thought that this would be a great opportunity. I know you attended the junior NBA virtual conference in when was that? In May or June?
It was in May. It was
in May.
Mm-hmm.
And they really kind of reiterated, right, that the importance of staying connected, and that kids who participate in youth sports are going to be committed to doing this sort of service, and it makes you feel good, right, to connect in that way.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about launching it. We've been planning for quite a few months. So it's going to launch next week, but then what's the plan as we go forward?
Yeah, it's a monthly program. So each month we'll release a new theme with different service projects for participants to take part in. And each theme will kind of connect to the season. So the idea is, that it'll kind of correspond with the holiday, or with, the month that kind of, can connect with what's going on in the world. So it'll be relevant and topical, and each month will also have a list of 10 projects for participants to take part in, but in order to be eligible for a $100 donation to a charity of their choice, they'll need to complete 5 and submit their completed scorecard into our office. So really cool chance to win a really nice prize. So
how do they submit the scorecard to our office?
Yeah, it's going to be online, so they can visit enf.elks.org/service scorecard for all the information, but that'll also have the survey form where they can submit their completed scorecards.
And do people who are participating have to register?
Yeah, so we do have an option to register. It's not mandatory, but we're asking people to register so that we know who is taking part, and to look out for them and their fun posts on social media, of course. And if they do register, we're hoping to send out some cool swag items and some fun prizes as well for registrants.
So there's additional incentive.
Exactly, to register and participate. Yeah.
So to tie this whole episode together, I heard the Cubs manager, David Ross, the other day was asked a question like, it's been a weird season, right? It was only 60 games long, and it's kind of this funky playoffs. And he was asked something like, is it going to be meaningful to win the World Series in this weird year? Will there be an asterisk, that sort of thing? And his answer was, hey, if there's a trophy, I want it.
Right.
And so, two-part question. Part one, the service scorecard, is there a way to win? And number two is, although the hoop shoot season is going to be truncated this year, do we anticipate that that the truncated season is going to diminish the desire of the hoop shooters to win?
Yeah, so first part of the question, yes, there is a way to win the service scorecard. We are going to be selecting winners each month off of the completed scorecard, and those winners will be kind of a raffle system for the $100 donation to the charity of their choice. The more submissions that we get in, the more donations we'll be able to give out to the winners. So that's kind of how it works. So hopefully it'll amp up some participation. And in terms of diminishing the hoop shooters' desire to participate because of the truncated season, I would be so shocked if that was the case. From what we've seen in our hoop shooters, they're so gritty, they're determined. If there's a chance to win, no matter the level to go to, they'll be back for sure this season.
And you were a college athlete, collegiate athlete as well. So that David Ross quote, that could be anybody name attached to that quote, right? I mean, it resonates with athletes.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, I had one season where I had mono and I wasn't able to go to the our championship, and I still made the last home meet of the season the best I could because I wanted so badly to prove that my season had been worth it, and all the hard work did pay off. So.
All right. Anything else we want to talk hoop shoot before we let Makenna go, Debbie?
No, I'm so excited. Like I said, we've been planning this for so many months, and I'm excited to see the response starting next week, October 6th.
Yeah, same here. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right, Makenna, thanks. We're looking forward to that, the launch of the Service Scorecard, and also the first episode of Hoop Shooting the Breeze. I'll be watching.
Who came up with that title?
Oh, I don't know. It must have been a genius, though, I would guess. Probably a Sox fan.
Probably a Sox fan, of course.
So.
All right.
All right, Makenna. Thank you very much for joining us today. Yeah, we'll see you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. So, Debbie, what else you want to talk about before we let our viewers go?
I do love the title, Hoop Shooting the Breeze.
Yeah, I do too.
Like that, it came off your top of your head.
Yeah.
I want to say last night we had a Scholar Advisory Board meeting, virtual of course, and we said goodbye to Brandon Dawson, who was our president, 4-year member. So sad to see him go, but he's graduated from Duke, he's living in DC, and he just landed his dream job doing water conservation along the Potomac River. So super excited for him. Sean Pringle, the alum of the year, is also ending his term on the Scholar Advisory Board.
Before we leave Brandon Dawson, just let me say, I think he's a nice example, like a microcosm of our scholars and their variety of interests, right? Brandon, 2 of his passions, I believe, were beekeeping.
That's right, the bee's knees.
And
that's
puppeteering and beekeeping as just interests, right? Anyway.
Right. Yeah, he actually had a beekeeping, like a honey business called the Bee's Knees. Yeah. So it was, got to say goodbye to him. And then Sean Pringle, he was one of he joined the Scholar Advisory Board in its 2nd year, served 4 years, but then came back last year as the alum of the year. He is crushing it in Elkdom. He is a member of the Oceano 5 Cities Lodge. He's their Lodge Scholarship chair, and he's the district scholarship chair. So he unfortunately wasn't on the meeting, but we wanted to bid him farewell as well. We know that it's not goodbye for any of them. They just won't be on the SAB. And we made the decision to have a virtual annual meeting for the Scholar Advisory Board in November. So we thought maybe we'd be able to come together in Chicago, but it's just not going to happen. It just doesn't.
You and Makenna mentioned the Junior NBA conference in May, and those guys were doing virtual conferences before it was cool, but now everybody else is sort of following along, right?
Yeah, so exactly.
Right now, it's just the sensible thing to do is why travel if you don't need to?
Exactly. I mean, and we've all become so accustomed to doing it, right?
Right.
In the early days of the pandemic when we hadn't even heard of Zoom or couldn't have even imagined living this way, but now we are. So I wanted to say that. And then I also wanted to just give a shout out to the Point Pleasant, New Jersey Lodge and Ellen Veprick in particular. So that's New Jersey 1698, who just sent the most lovely email along with a video She did forget, in my opinion, an important cog in the wheel of the community investments program, but I'm gonna, just put that aside, and I'm going to celebrate the fact that you and Kate and Marcy and Megan and Doug and Katie were on a poster, like a poster that said, "Look at what you have helped make, help make happen." For this virtual baby shower that they had with their Spotlight grant. It was just adorable. They did such a fantastic job. They couldn't get together in person, but they actually recorded showing every single thing that was going to be given to the military moms in their little basket for their babies. And it was adorable. And you guys got shout outs, including credits at the end of the video. So, and Ellen was great.
Yeah, it's nice. It's always nice when we get that kind of feedback. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and this is true not just of us, obviously, but in life. But the happy customers typically aren't the ones to check in with their feedback.
That's right.
So
for sure.
It's really nice, and helps to recharge the batteries when you hear from somebody who's just couldn't be happier with the service that we've provided.
Right. It was great, and I thank Ellen for doing that. She's a great grants coordinator, and Kathy Ivy came on. I'm assuming that must be her lodge as well, but she's the New Jersey fundraising chair.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. All right.
That's all I have.
Well then, why don't we say goodbye? If just a reminder to comment on this episode with the hashtag ENF Midday for a chance to win a $50 soft credit to the ENF funded program of your choice. You can comment on what you liked about the episode, what you're looking forward to, with what's coming down the road, or just tell us which team you're pulling for. Real simple. And if you say the White Sox, there's a pretty good chance you win. Just kidding. I have no pull when it comes to that. If you've liked this episode, Midday Minute, give us a thumbs up. If not, a thumbs down. Either way, share it far and wide with your social network so we can spread the word about the good work the Elks are doing. If you're not already a subscriber to our YouTube channel, hit that button and tap the bell so you'll be notified every time we post new content. Until next time, Debbie, thanks for tuning in.
Go Sox!
Bye, guys.